manufacturing, if our energy cost is so high, we can't compete. So we have to get the energy costs down. When the PNP was last in power, energy was about 20 to 25 cents per kilowatt hour. Now we are between 40 cents and 50 cents US per kilowatt hour. That's what our people are paying for energy in Jamaica. Light bill, we're talking about. Your light bill. That is what we're talking about. Your light bill is too high. And we can't continue with that kind of light bill if we really are going to compete on the world stage. If we are going to compete on the world stage. Sir Paulwell, good morning.
Good morning.
I know I'd give you another number to call you from, but I think this number going to work, going to serve us better.
All right, no problem, no problem.
Welcome to Portland Spice TV, sir.
Thank you, my brother. Good to be on, and I'm happy to be able to share with your listeners.
Well, I did the advert, and I said to the people in the advert, when Jamaica had a telecommunication problem, Phillip Paulwell and the People's National Party solved the problem. We are now in an energy crisis, and I am expecting that you, sir, like you did with the telecommunications in Jamaica, that you will fix the energy problem. Am I right?
I think you are correct without, sounding immodest, without sounding arrogant. I would say that we are actually in a better position than we were in when we challenged cable and wireless and decided that Jamaica couldn't live any longer with a monopoly telecom provider, and that if we were going to benefit from the world of technology, we would have to do a massive transformation, which is what we did with the renegotiation of that license. By the way, that license would have continued, that monopoly license would have continued to the year 2038.
Oh, yeah.
If we did not,
So
the situation and had new licenses issued under new arrangements that
So-
facilitated competition.
So hold on, Comrade Paulwell, because me I call you comrade, because me and you are comrade, and me not hide my side. When people say that if Phillip Paulwell never do it, it would have do anyway, that is rubbish.
It's absolute nonsense. The cable and wireless actually took me to court
I know.
to try to enforce the terms of the license. And it wasn't true because, it was only because of certain strategies that we used to ensure that the public was fully supportive. We also had to make international appeals to the British government and others. And we did a massive public education program in Jamaica. And I think when they saw the writings on the wall, then they came to the negotiation table. And at that time, I was able to exert tremendous influence over the process. So that we basically got what we wanted, and Jamaica became the world model. After we secured that deal with Cable and Wireless, when I went to the International Telecommunications Union conference, and they do an annual conference, I was like a rock star, because all countries that had similar problems, and the common denominator there in many of the countries was cable and wireless.
Yes.
They turned to Jamaica. They looked to the Jamaican model. In fact, the entire CARICOM used the Jamaican model, and other countries across the globe to get out of their monopoly situation.
Oh, beautiful. So again, Jamaica lead in doing what you did. No.
Yes. We were able to demonstrate, because even cable and wireless was saying, well, this is going to lead to chaos. We're going to mash up telecoms as we know it in Jamaica, and people are not going to be able to make calls overseas, and we are going to deny Jamaicans of this facility. That was what was being predicted.
Frightening the people.
no, this won't happen. And in fact, we made certain predictions, like what you're seeing now with, say, WhatsApp calls.
Yes.
I predicted that one day we're going to come to a situation where people are going to be able to talk,
free,
not using the regular system, but using the connectivity that we were establishing, and that it will be free. And nobody believed, but today that's where we're at.
Well, cable and wireless telecommunication in Jamaica is now at first world standard, would you say?
I would say up to 2016, and I'm not trying to be partisan, but I don't think enough attention has been maintained to ensure that the standards that we set, Jamaica in 2015, was one of the leading telecoms destinations because we had access to the three latest technologies available at the time.
Yeah.
And since that time, the world has moved on. People have 4G, people have 5G. Jamaica has not yet reached there. We were intending when we established Universal Service Fund, and you hear these people now are boasting about free community access points. That was not where we wanted to take universal service. We wanted to make sure that in every public space in Jamaica, you had you have free Wi-Fi connectivity. So if you're traveling from Kingston to Montego Bay,
yeah,
you'll have free Wi-Fi broadband capacity. That was the intention behind Universal Service Fund. In the 2 years when we established USF, we had raised $14 billion.
So,
if we didn't have a change of government, trust me, the celebration of these 1-1 community free access Wi-Fi funds, that really would be considered minuscule
but
in terms of the overall vision.
But when this minister is celebrating these hotspot areas, aren't those something that you left there? Hotspot areas. Aren't those something that you left there?
Of course, the entire Universal Service Fund was to enable Jamaicans who couldn't afford connectivity. Because remember, we had moved away from just talking on telephones now.
Yes.
Right? It was to enable us to be a part of the information world, where broadband is gold. And we therefore wanted to make sure that wherever you live in Jamaica, you could, if you could not afford it, you would not be denied it.
Right.
And that's why the free Wi-Fi concept was really to enable in every public space. If you're in your home, that's a different matter. But once it touched the streets, children could be able to stay outside, go in the community center, anywhere, and do their homework, and so on and so forth. That was the intention behind Universal Service Fund. So what is happening now is really a step down, a far step down from the true intent of Universal Service Fund.
So like you plant a tree and you were watering it, it was growing beautiful, and then all of a sudden they stop water it, stop care for it, so the tree gets stagnant. Is that what you're liking our telecommunication system to right now?
It got stunted. It got stunted.
Got
so
stunted.
We, as a new government, will have to go back to that trajectory that we had established. Certain things have changed, so we have to look back at how we deal with Universal Service Fund, how it is funded, without putting taxes on Jamaicans, and that's a commitment. We also have to look now at the technologies that are now available. You know, the world of AI, I don't even think we have begun to understand the impact of artificial intelligence.
No.
And what that is going to do. This is another revolution that is happening, and we're not on board as yet.
Oh, Lord.
Right?
Oh, Lord.
And that is going to require even greater bandwidth capacity.
Yes.
It's going to require tremendous more energy, which has to be cheaper, much cheaper than we have now. And I know our discussion today is about energy.
Well, that is right where that is right where we're going, but we couldn't pass without talk about your record, because when I did the ad and said you are going to fix it, I remind people that what you have done before. So we're not coming with a rookie who never take on large conglomerate. You took on telephone company of Jamaica, Cable and Wireless. At the time,
maybe it was an international company.
Right. So you're not no rookie to this. So let's now look at energy, Sir Paul. When you left office in 2016, we were paying between 20 and what 25 cents per kilowatt hour. We are now up to about between 40 and 50 cents per kilowatt hour. We're talking about US. Where you want to get us to in our first term, and how you're going to take us there?
Yes. So we were actually at about 23 US cents per kilowatt hour. And now, depending on which month you do the calculation, it's anywhere from 40 to 50 cents per kilowatt hour. I believe that a similar approach as we took with telecommunications will have to be done. And so it can't be piecemeal. It has to be comprehensive and almost a revolution. And I'm equally excited that we are going to be able to achieve setting up new records and Jamaica becoming a model of how you can take a system that is stagnated by way of a monopoly provider and to graduate and to open it up. So not only large corporations will be able to come to Jamaica, but you as an individual,
yes,
you are going to become under our next regime a generator of electricity.
Talk to me.
You're going to have power into your hands.
Talk to me.
Yes. So it requires some immediate things. Unlike the cable and wireless license that had so many years to run, this license expires in 2027. But you don't have to wait to 2027 to effect certain changes because you have leverage. And by right, by the 7th of July this year, the license says that the government of Jamaica must indicate to JPSCO what its intentions are. The 7th of July is less than a month away, you know. And I know that this government hasn't even begun to look at some of the details.
But the minister said he wrote to JPS from January.
Well, I know I'm about how you negotiate.
This is TED.
About how you negotiate matters.
Yes.
And before you engage JPSCO, you really ought to have a plan.
Hallelujah.
We have a blueprint for that. I could show them.
Yes.
How we were able to do it. You can't go into a negotiations with JPSCO, and they do have two major international partners, without knowing what you're about. And I can guarantee you that this government isn't clear. I gave them some ideas last year and again this year as to how to approach the negotiations, what to ask for, and so on. But nobody's taking me on. I believe that we have an excellent opportunity to modify the agreement to incorporate a number of the fundamental changes that we are proposing. And in fact, there are some changes that you don't need to wait on. And the most basic has to do with the 300,000 households that today steal electricity.
300,000.
Yeah, man. Whenever you go to pay your electricity bill, you pay whatever you're paying. 20% of that has to do with those persons who are stealing the electricity, and that is, they're not paying for it. You have to pay. So your light bill now, if we can deal with electricity theft, would be lower immediately by 20%.
So hold on. How many of us are paying? Like you said, 300,000 homes are not paying; they are stealing. How many homes are paying?
You have about between 400 and 500,000.
So 500,000 of us are paying for another 300,000 that we don't get none of those that light.
Precisely.
And you're saying that's 20% of our light bill.
That's 20%, yes, because these are poorer communities. They really don't use as much electricity as other communities. So they would have a one fridge. They have lighting that they do.
So
a little TV here.
So let me simplify something. If your light bill is $20,000, $2,000 out of that is for people who have cheap electricity.
No, That the $2,000 is 10%.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, right. It's 20%. I said, so double that.
So it's $4,000. Sorry, $4,000 out of it. So I use the 20,000 because my light bill is about $22,000 a month. So 4,500 out of my light bill is for a man where I throw up.
It's not you use it. It's not you use it. Somebody else use it.
Tell her.
Somebody else use it.
So how you going to fix that so fast? Because you're saying if we fix that, right away we light bill gone down by 20%.
Right. And let me say, this is going to happen in our first term.
Yes, sir.
You can't do, yes. What we intend to do is to use the tremendous resource of solar that has seen the technology improve dramatically over time.
Yes.
The price has been reduced significantly, and very importantly, you now have storage by way of batteries.
Yes.
That can enable you to install this facility on your roof.
Yes.
We could establish micro systems in communities. But you know, in 2015 we imposed a hedge fund tax.
Yes.
The government collects about $7 billion
every year.
Right. And the aim of this tax was to do exactly what I'm talking about. And it has not happened. And I think we have to go back.
But hold on. Don't just say it has not happened, because they are still collecting that hedge fund. The government still collects it.
It goes straight into the consolidated fund. So yes, it is still being collected, but not used for the purpose for which it was intended. So that has to be corrected. So you have.
So we are back. Just waiting on some people to join us.